Hi, my name is Nathan. You're watching Nice at Dice, and this is my month in gaming. It's a brief video in which I just go over some of the highlights of my gaming from the past month. So today we're talking about October 2020. So let's get right into it. First of all, I played a few games that were new to me. One game I played, it wasn't really new to me in that I played it before. It's called Spy Clubs, and it's basically about a group of like kid detectives solving neighborhood mysteries. It's a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players, or I think 2 to 4 players actually. And I had played it before as kind of a once-off game, but you can also play a 5-game campaign. So over the course of October, I played through a campaign of this game. It's not a legacy game. There are things that you unlock over the course of the campaign that carry over into the following games of the campaign, but at the end of the campaign, you reset everything. You can play through the campaign again, and you'll get a very different experience each time you play through the campaign. So that kind of gives you an idea of it. I actually did a full review of the game that I posted on my channel, so you can go check that out if it sounds interesting to you. You can learn a little bit more about it. I also did played a game that was new to me called Escape the Dark Sector. Basically, 4 astronauts have been captured and imprisoned on this space station. The game starts with you breaking out of your cell, and now you have to make your way across the space station, very dangerous space station, to where your ship is being held so you can escape the dark sector. It's, again, a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. It's very thematic. It has this really dark, kind of gritty sci-fi theme to it. There is some humor with references to different popular sci-fi franchises, but overall it's a pretty dark game. And it's the kind of game that you will lose over and over and over again. So, if that sounds interesting to you, you might want to check the game out. Over the next week or so, I will be doing a recording of me playing through it solo, so you can get an idea what that's like. And also, I'm going to do a full review of it, so you can learn a little bit more about that game. But that's something you can look forward to coming up on the channel soon. I also played a game called Armello, which is not a physical board game, but it's a digital board game. You can play it on Steam and maybe some other platforms, I'm not sure, but definitely on Steam is where I played it. And it's basically sort of this anthropomorphic kingdom where the king is a lion and there's these different clans. There's like a rabbit clan and a wolf clan and a bear clan and a rat clan, and you play a hero from one of these clans. And the king is clearly become corrupted by something called the rot, which means he is dying from his corruption, but also he's become like an evil tyrant, and you have to basically try and become the next ruler of the kingdom. You can do that by directly attacking the king and overthrowing him. You can do it by becoming more corrupt than the king, and so you can replace him as the next corrupt despot. You can do it by gaining political influence so that when the rot finally kills the king, you will be the guy who everyone looks to lead the kingdom next. Or you can gather these, I think they're called spirit stones, and they're basically these like magical artifacts. If you collect enough of them and take them to the king, you like purify him of the rot and save the kingdom. So there's different ways you can win the game. It is a competitive game. Everybody is taking their hero around the kingdom, going on little quests, exploring dungeons, claiming different towns that will get you different resources. So there's a lot of different things going on in the game. It's a pretty neat game. I don't know that I'll do a review of it because I don't normally do reviews of digital games. But if you're interested in something a little different as far as a board game in a digital format goes, I think it's worth at least taking a look at. And finally, I just started a role-playing game campaign using The One Ring, which is a role-playing game set in the world of Middle-earth, based on the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings. So just started that campaign. This is the first time I've played that particular RPG. Don't have a lot of in-depth thoughts on it right now, but so far our first session was pretty good. Enjoyed it. Now, I'm also always looking to kind of thin out my collection. I have this goal of reducing the overall number of games that I own. I'd like to have fewer games that I play more often, and so to that end, I did let go 4 games this past month. They were all kind of small indie-style role-playing games. So one was a game called A Dirty World, which is sort of like a crime noir, detective noir kind of game. Another one called Dogs in the Vineyard, which is kind of like an alternate Wild West. A game called Dread, which is a like a horror type game that uses a Jenga tower as its main mechanism for resolving things. And then another game called My Life with Master, which is about being the minions of some kind of evil master, like Frankenstein or whatever. So all of these games they're fine games. I enjoyed them when I played them. I don't think that I will play them again. I got enough enjoyment out of them when I did. The only one that still kind of intrigues me a little bit is the game Dread, and I think it's interesting that in the rule book for Dread, they basically tell you this is a super simple game. Once you've played it a couple of times, you will know the rules enough. You don't need the rule book anymore. And in fact, we recommend and ask that you please pass the rule book on to someone else after you know it so that more people can learn the game. And I thought that was just a really interesting thing to put in a rule book. So I thought that was pretty cool, and that's what I did. So like it said, I know the game well enough. I could play it again if I wanted to. And in the meantime, somebody else can learn and enjoy the game. Now, like I said, I did do a review for the game Spy Club. I also did a what's new video where I just kind of did an unboxing of this the Unmatched character trays, basically like these plastic trays that fit inside a box for the game Unmatched, and each tray holds one character, their deck of cards, their miniature, tokens, etc., everything for that one character. So that was kind of a neat game accessory that I got a hold of. I did a video about that. And then the rest of my videos this past month were all about the Century Trilogy from Plan B Games. So Century Spice Road, Eastern Wonders, Century A New World. I did reviews for each of those 3 games. I did a 4th video where I talked about all the different ways those games can be combined with one another, and then sort of compared basically all 7 games / combinations and talked about which ones were my favorites. And then I did a 5th video where I basically took a look at a plastic 3D printed insert that will fit inside of the box for any one of those 3 games and hold the components for all 3 of them in one box. So I took a look at that. So basically what's been going on with me as far as my gaming, as far as my channel, the videos I've been putting up. Again, my name is Nathan. This is Nice at Dice. Thank you so much for watching, and you enjoy the rest of your day.